We have a lot to go over, and I'm going to kick things off by focusing on running backs that you need to target in fantasy football in 2022. What's up, guys? Welcome to the 100 Fantasy Football channel. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Ivan Herrera, and the mission of this channel is to bring purposeful community to fantasy football that will help you win your fantasy leagues. If you can do me a solid, hit that like button, as well as be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that way you are up to date whenever I upload a video or go live here on YouTube. Running backs that you need to target in fantasy football in 2022. The first one is one of the players I'm putting all my bets on. He is the Denver Broncos running back Javonte Williams. So here's the reason why I'm big on Javonte Williams. Look, he had 6 games where he had 10 or more total touches, and he averaged 18.5 fantasy points in those games, making it the third highest fantasy points per game last season for running backs that played 14 or more games. And according to Pro Football Focus, he had a 38% missed forced tackle rate, making it the best in the league. He also had 63 forced missed tackles that he created, making it the second best in the league as well. So if you have the opportunity to get him, by all means, in that first round, I would say hedge your bets on Javonte Williams being one of those surefire guys in 2022. Another running back that I think is getting overlooked that deserves a lot more consideration is running back James Conner out of the Arizona Cardinals. Here's an interesting stat line for you. From weeks 9 through 14, when he was the starter for the Arizona Cardinals, he was the running back 2 in fantasy football, averaging a total of 21.8 touches, giving him 114.4 yards on average during that span. And he also averaged, get this, 25.8 fantasy football points during that time. And check this out, in 2021, only 3 players had 28 or more touches on rush attempts on third down. And third, you had Antonio Gibson with 28. Number 2, you had Jonathan Taylor with 31. And number 1, you had James Conner with 32 touches. And check this out, during that span from week 9 to 14, Conner also was 10th among all RBs in routes run. So this just shows you that he's not only utilized on the ground, he also gets value in the passing game. And with Chase Edmonds now onto Miami, James Conner has a huge opportunity to really shine in 2022. And the third player that I'm really focusing on at running back as well is running back Michael Carter out of the New York Jets. Michael Carter was one of my favorite players coming out of college last season, going into the pros, and I think that he really showed his value in 2021. The thing that really makes Michael Carter impressive is the fact that he has the skill set to produce huge fantasy football production. Check this stat out. From weeks 5 through 10, he had 4 weeks where he had 4 or more receptions, which on average gave him 52.4 yards during that span, and he also averaged 18.2 fantasy points during that time. And on top of that, during that span when he was averaging these numbers, he was running back 10 in fantasy football. With Zach Wilson getting another year under his belt of experience, along with Michael Carter getting more familiar with this offensive playbook, I see Michael Carter really bringing a lot of value in 2022. Okay, now that we've gone over the running backs that I think you should target in fantasy football, another thing I want to briefly go over, we have the NFL draft coming up really soon. So I wanted to briefly go over, for those of you that are playing Dynasty and do a lot of rookie startup drafts, this is what you should be mindful of when it comes to the running backs that are currently looked at during this upcoming draft. It's no surprise that the 2022 draft, as far as a skill position standpoint, doesn't have a lot of players to really get excited about. So one thing I want to give you is a word of caution when looking to draft rookie running backs going into fantasy football. Here's a great piece that I'm going to put in the description from Michael Fabiano that goes over rookie running backs drafted in the first round and their success rate in their first season. He shares this quote that says, of 19 running backs taken in the first round since 2010, 11 have had top 10 fantasy finishes in their first season, which means since 2010, only 58% of running backs drafted in the first round saw success. There's going to be some buzz around Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and maybe even Isaiah Spiller. But the thing is, you don't want to get too excited because these running backs don't really pay that much dividends, especially at the running back position. So be sure to pay attention where now ADP start shifting after the NFL draft. You're going to see certain players go to particular teams that may affect their value in a good way or even negatively. So for example, if Breece Hall was to go to somewhere, I don't know, say like Buffalo, I think that'll be a wonderful situation for him where you'll see a lot of fantasy upside. But say he goes to a team like Atlanta, you're not going to be too excited about the potential production or lack thereof that he may go in an offensive scheme like that. The point is, just be mindful about the rookies. Don't get too excited when you're looking at your rookie drafts, but be mindful about where these players go and how that may affect their fantasy football projection in 2022. Hey guys, thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video. If you found value in it, be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload or go live. See you guys in the next video. As always, keep it 100.